Good morning, everyone. We are on day 14. In today's class, we will be covering Amazon Route 53, a domain name system in AWS Cloud. The agenda for today's class is displayed on your screen. The first topic for today is what is DNS? The domain name system is the phone book of the internet. Users can easily access a website without being aware of its IP address. The credit should go to DNS that converts a domain name into IP address. Computers access information online using Internet Protocol addresses, not domain names like www.example.com, google.com, whatever. As humans do, we use google.com, microsoft.com. We provide the domain name directly. We do not provide the IP addresses. These IP addresses are only recognized by the computers. They do not understand the domain name what we provide in the web browser, like a google.com, amazon.com, microsoft.com, etc. So there are four types of DNS servers. DNS resolver. This is provided by ISP, Internet Service Provider. Root name server. It receives the query of a web page and forward that request to a resolver. The third one is top level domain, which is also called TLD name server. This server stores all the web addresses like .com, .net, .org, .info, etc. And the last one is authoritative name server. This particular server stores all the IP addresses of the web servers. Let us have a deep dive into these servers, how these servers they function, they work hand in hand together, help support each other's. Okay. So we have a domain name. What is all about a domain name? A domain name is a unique, easy to remember address used to access websites such as www.microsoft.com. This is the domain name. A domain name is a string of texts or words that is mapped to a numeric IP address of a web server. That means this www.microsoft.com has got a unique IP address, a public IP address attached to it. So a web server can be accessed by typing a web server IP address or its domain name directly into the web browser's address bar. So that means either you can type www.microsoft.com in your web browser to reach this web page, or if you know the IP address of this web server, which is in our case 20.81.111.85 directly into the web browser address bar, you'll be able to access the same page. So here in the pictorial presentation, we have the same the domain name that has been taken for understanding. Here we have something called URL, Uniform Resource Locator. It is referred to as a web address. It contains the transfer protocol, subdomain, domain name of the website, top level domain, and the path or specific page of that particular website. So here, when we type a web address in our internet web browser, to begin with, we will see this HTTP or HTTPS. This refers to the protocol, what type of protocol, whether it is HTTP or HTTPS protocol. The next one is www, we type before the web address, correct? So this indicates the subdomain name. What is the subdomain name of our web address, web server address? Next comes our actual domain name, that is Microsoft.com or Google.com, Yahoo.com, so on and so forth. It comes only the name, that is Microsoft or Google or Yahoo. All right. Further, we have that .com, .org, IN. This refers to the top level domain name. Okay, so all the four put together, it becomes our URL. Here, one more component is missing. We will discuss that. Okay, so in our web address, what we type https://www.microsoft.com is the complete URL. Okay, and when you try to bifurcate each and every component, this is what we get. We'll get first the protocol, next the subdomain name, further we have the domain name, top level domain, and the web page. Okay, so together this Microsoft.com is referred to as the root domain. That is what we register. If you go to GoDaddy or Bluehost or Amazon Route 53 to block a name for yourself in the internet, so this is what we provide, Microsoft.com. You will choose or Microsoft.in or Microsoft.org.info, whatever is your choice. So that particular name is called the root domain. So here we were referring to the URL uniform resource locator. I have picked up an example. So in this case, let us try to understand what is here we have the complete URL. HTTPS is what referred to as the protocol, correct? So here we have the protocol HTTPS. Next comes the subdomain. Here in this case, the subdomain is www, correct? So www is the subdomain, and the domain name is Rediff, only Rediff. Okay, and further the top level domain is .com, and the last but not least, index.html is your web page where you have stored the complete web page details. It could have the picture files, the audio or video files, the text content, anything and everything that you see the moment you visit a web page. So the entire line is referred to as URL, that is Uniform Resource Locator. So with this, we'll be able to understand much better about our today's topic, Amazon Route 53. So what is all about Amazon Route 53? Amazon Route 53 is a service in AWS Cloud. It is a domain name registrar who manages the domains and creates the record sets as well. So when we say domain name register or a domain register, what is that? Domain register is a third-party company registers domain names. Example, GoDaddy.com, Bluehost.com, or Amazon Route 53. All right. So what actually they do? If you want to register a domain name in your name or a specific name of your choice, we need a service provider who will block that name for us, correct? And who will purchase a name for us. This name will be unique across the globe in the internet. So this service is provided by Amazon Route 53. Of course, there are other popular domain registrars. We have examples to go with GoDaddy.com and Bluehost.com, etc. Amazon Route 53 also performs global server load balancing by routing each request to the AWS region that is closest to the requester's location. So AWS Route 53 takes its name with reference to the port number 53. That means Route 53 service communicates with the rest of resources outside AWS network through a port number 53. That is how Route 53 has got its name, the 53 number embedded with route, Amazon route. So this will handle both the DNS for both the TCP as well as UDP protocol. Here TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol. UDP stands for User Datagram Protocol. So Route 53 service translates human readable names like www.google.com or microsoft.com into the numeric IP address like 172.217.163.196 in case of google.com that computers can understand and connect to that particular server. So what does that mean? The moment you type google.com in your web browser to open or access Google web page, your browser, Google Chrome or Internet Explorer, Navigator, Netscape Navigator, they will not understand what is that you typed. So immediately this browser will ask for help. It could be Amazon Route 53 or it could be GoDaddy, anyone. It will ask for help. What is the website my user, my owner is trying to access? So this DNS server will convert this google.com. It will have its own database. In the database, it will have the name of the domain name, right in front of it, the IP address allocated or attached to that web address, domain name. So it immediately picks up that IP address and provides it to your browser. So your browser will understand, oh, okay, my owner is looking for google.com. So that means I will have to take my owner to the web page that is associated with the IP address called 172.217.163.196. That is how your web browser will be able to understand and fetch that particular web page. So here the DNS maintains, that is DNS server maintains a database of all the web addresses, the domain names available across the globe. Okay, so it will have both the domain name web address as well as the respective IP address of that particular domain name. So when you try to open a web server, you can either type the IP address, that is the public IP address of that particular domain name if you know, or you can simply type in that particular domain name itself. So that is how we'll be able to fetch the web pages on the internet. So all these services are provided by Amazon Route 53. So apart from this, Amazon Route 53 also provides multiple types of routing policies. What are these routing policies? So to begin with, Amazon provides a routing policy called simple routing. This lets you configure a standard DNS record with no special Route 53 routing policies, such as awaited or latency routing. There are several types of routing policies. So here, to begin with, simple routing is one specific policy that will be directly attached to your web server. So when you are trying to, when the external users trying to access your web page, which is within the Amazon cloud, so it will follow the simple routing protocol policy. So anything that comes in that is let into that particular web server. So when using basic routing policy, traffic is often sent to a single resource, such as our web server or website. So the next type of routing is called weighted routing. With weighted routing, you may assign several resources to single domain name like google.com, or it's a subdomain support.google.com. So, and you can control the amount of traffic that is forwarded to each of these resources. So this can be helpful for a number of things, such as load balancing or testing new software versions. Let us say you have upgraded your website and you want to do the testing. Same time, your primary website, which is already up and running for the last couple of years, it should not get disturbed. So what you will do, your primary web server is still google.com, and only you know that you have installed or you have upgraded your web page under a domain name called a subdomain called support.google.com. So both will have same pages, but support.google.com has got updated information what you want to show it in your primary web server. So you will do all the testing purpose here. Once you're sure that the website is working fine, the gateway is working, everything is working as per your expectation, then you will move this page into the main domain name, that is google.com. So here the weighted routing will do the routing to a particular web server based on the requirement, how exactly you want the web traffic to be routed. Okay, so there is next type, another routing which is available called geolocation routing. So Route 53 uses the truncated IP address rather than the source IP address of the DNS resolver to establish the user's location. What does that mean? If you're accessing msn.com from India location, the moment you see the web page of msn.com, you will see all the contents related to India. Same time, you create a EC2 instance, maybe in Ohio region or New York region. In that EC2 instance, you open the same msn.com, you will not see the same web page of India location, what you had, what you were trying to access from your laptop, local laptop or desktop. In your EC2 instance, it will show a different page, different content of the same msn.com that related to that particular location. Okay, so this Route 53 will understand from where exactly the user is accessing the web page, from which particular location. So according to that user's location, it will route the traffic to that specific web server. That means there is a web server located in Ohio region, which has got all the related information of that location. And there is another server, maybe multiple servers located in India location. It will have all the news and preferences information related to India location. So this is geolocation routing policy. There is one more, which is called latency routing. With latency-based routing, Amazon Route 53 can direct the user's request to the lowest latency AWS endpoint. That means if you have, let us say, 5 locations, you have created your web server. Okay, and all these web servers has got the same web page content. Among these 5 web servers, there could be one server which is not getting any web traffic. All right, so this latency routing will be keep doing the load balancing, will be keep analyzing the traffic. It will further start diverting the traffic to the server where there is no traffic hitting, where there is no traffic reaching. So that can be achieved with the latest latency routing policy. All these things we can explore in our lab exercise to understand better in detail. All right. So there is one more routing policy. This is the last one, failover routing. So here, this allows users to route internet traffic to a particular resource when that resource is healthy compared to another resource. That means, let us say you have 2 EC2 instances. One is the primary and another one may be secondary, like for disaster purpose. If the primary server goes down, all the traffic should get diverted to the secondary web server. So here, this particular routing policy we can choose. So what happens? Always the traffic will be passing on to the primary server. For whatever is the reason, if the primary server is not functioning all right, or if it is receiving too much of web traffic, at that point of time, the ongoing network traffic will be routed to the side B or the secondary server. So these are all the different types of routing policies available in Route 53. Let's explore all these routing protocols, how it works through our lab exercise. So with this, we'll be concluding the theoretical part of Route 53. let us proceed further in exploring these features through the lab exercise. Thank you.